Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
So from that perspective, Musa, can you just sort of give us your view about, what ideas and recommendations you think we should be putting into this, investment allocation plan for the Earthshot that will catalyze more African institutional investors like yourselves, and then of course be able to hopefully crowd in more colleagues like Gunter and the global institutional investment community. Two African green infrastructures.
Thank you, Hubert. I think the most important from an institutional investor perspective, especially a pension fund, would be to uplift the infrastructure, especially green infrastructure, not from a project-based investment perspective, but make it an asset class. As already been mentioned, group all the projects and make these Africa green investments into an asset class that is investable. So going forward, we're investing in infrastructure, green infrastructure to be specific, as an investable asset class. As long-term investors, pension funds are in it for the long term. We will look into infrastructure, especially green infrastructure, addressing some of the SDGs from a partnership perspective to address some of the challenges that we're facing as a globe, but also to expect the returns that have already been mentioned over the long term. What it will do for us as a partnership is we're taking out some of the challenges that we're having in identifying individual projects, but going into an asset class that is grouped together with all the returns that have been classified for all investors, and then we look at addressing all our challenges together. So partnerships is important for us. We've demonstrated that in South Africa, where 17 of some of the largest retirement funds have put together funds and attack investments in infrastructure. And that has realized in 1 year, for example, we've invested $400 million in identifiable renewable projects within a space of 12 months, where that was not possible before without the partnerships that were done within the retirement fund space. So partnerships, as well as elevating green infrastructure into an asset class, that will work and be attractive for retirement funds.
Thank you very much, Musa. Now let's move to Gunter. As I mentioned, on the board of Allianz, that chairs probably one of the largest, if not the largest, networks convened by the United Nations of global institutional investors, the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance. And I think the world in the global institutional market has this perspective that there just isn't really a bankable or investable at-scale pipeline of projects on the continent. So I'm really interested, and I know Gunter's been a great supporter. We've just put out, as a collective of institutional investors, a call to action statement to the key stakeholders, multilateral development banks, heads of state. We issued it just this week. It was essentially going out to, we represent about $100 trillion worth of institutional investors as part of that institutional investment group on climate change, amongst many others. So, Gunter, if you
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.